Welcome you all to the second lecture on trigonometry. So here in this lecture we shall see how we can find the trigonometric ratios of specific angles. Now what are the angles? The angles are 45 degrees, 30, 60 and 0. In the previous lecture session we have gone through the trigonometric ratios where the angle was undefined, isn't it? We just considered angle A or angle theta. But here if that angle A or theta is 45 or 30 or 60, then we have a specific value of either sine, cosine, tangent and so on. Right? So we shall find all the trigonometric ratios of specific angles, and before we proceed, make sure that you go through the entire playlist of all the videos uploaded for your NCERT 10 standard. There are more than 40 to 50 videos which have been uploaded covering various topics including trigonometry, probability, statistics, coordinate geometry, arithmetic progression, circles and so on. So make sure that you do watch them. So moving back, so let us consider the first case, 45 degrees. Okay, so now let's consider a right angled triangle. So we have a right angled triangle A, B and C. So this is 90 degrees and this is say angle A and this is 45. Okay, so if angle A is 45, angle C also is 45 because the sum of all the three angles of a triangle is 180 degrees. So it is 45, and we also know that this is a triangle where both the sides are equal. AB equals BC. The sides opposite to equal angles are definitely equal, right? So now AB equals BC. So let's assume that this is A. So this also is A. And what about AC? So we know that AC square equals AB square plus BC square. If this is A, so it is A square plus A square, or it is 2A square. So what is AC? AC is A into root 2. So A into root 2. So the value of AC is A into root 2. So now with this, let us find all the values. So let's find sine 45 degrees. Now what is sine 45? It is the opposite side by hypotenuse, which is BC by AC. So now BC is A, hypotenuse is A root 2. So this is 1 by root 2. Next, what about cos 45? Cos 45 is adjacent side AB by AC. So I'm moving fast because we already know what they are, isn't it? So therefore AB is A divided by hypotenuse is A root 2. So we have 1 by root 2. Next, what about tan 45? It is the opposite side by adjacent side. So it is BC divided by AB. Right? So this is A by A, which is 1. Right? So when we find sine, cos and tan, we can also find cosecant, right? So cosecant 45 is the reciprocal of 1 by root 2, which is root 2. What about secant? Secant is the reciprocal of cos 45, which is root 2. And cot is the reciprocal of tan, so cot 45 is also 1. So we have found out all the values for the angle 45 degrees. Okay, so now let us try to find the values of the angles 30 and 60. So now let's find out 30 and 60. Right, so now to find the value sine 30 or sine 60, let us consider an equilateral triangle ABC. So I have an equilateral triangle ABC. So this is A, this is B and this is C. Right? So now let us assume that the sides are of length 2A. So this is 2A. It's an equilateral triangle. So all the angles are 60. So this is 60, this is 60 and this also 60. So now draw a perpendicular from A to BC such that it divides BC into two equal halves. So let this point be D. So this is A, this also is A. So since we have dropped a perpendicular, this is 90 degrees and this definitely is 30. Alright, so now we have a triangle, we have a right angled triangle where I have 60 and I have 30. So we can find sine 60, sine 30, cosine 60, cosine 30 and so on. Okay, so now I know the value of BD, which is A, and I also know the value of the hypotenuse AB, which is 2A. So now we need to find AD. So we know that AB square equals BD square plus AD square. So this is 2A square, which is 4A square, square of this, equals BD square is A square plus AD square. So what is AD square? 4A square minus A square is 3A square. So AD is A root 3. So the value is A root 3. So the value of AD is A root 3. So once we know the value of AD, we can find all the other values, isn't it? So what is sine 30? So this is 30, that is angle A is 30, it is this angle, which is BAD, is 30. So sine 30 is opposite side, which is BD, divided by hypotenuse BA, which is A by 2A, which is 1 by 2. So very important relation. So sine 30 is 1 by 2. Next, cos 30 is adjacent side. The adjacent side is AD by BA, which is A root 3 divided by 2A. So AA gets cancelled, so I get root 3 by 2. Again, very important result. Next, tan 30 is opposite side, which is BD divided by the adjacent side AD. So A by A root 3. So it is 1 by root 3. So tan 30 is 1 by root 3. So once we find all these three values, we can find cosecant, secant and cot by just taking their inverses, isn't it? So cosecant 30 is reciprocal of 1 by 2, which is 2, and secant 30 degrees is reciprocal of this, which is 2 by root 3, and cot 30 is reciprocal of 1 by root 3, which is root 3. Okay, so now since we have found out for 30, we can also find for 60, isn't it? So 60, so sine 60, so angle B is 60. So now we have the opposite side, which is AD divided by AB, so which is A root 3 by 2A. So this is root 3 by 2. Next, cos 60 is the adjacent side is BD of angle B, BD divided by AB, so which is A by 2A, so which is 1 by 2, and then we have tan 60. Opposite side of 60 is AD divided by adjacent side is BD, so which is A root 3 by A, which is root 3. Okay, so now we have sine 60, which is root 3 by 2, and then we also have cos 60 is 1 by 2 and tan 60 is root 3. So once we get these values, we can find their inverses, which is cosecant. So cosecant 60 is 2 by root 3, secant 60 is inverse of 1 by 2, which is 2, and cot 60 is 1 by root 3. Okay, so what are some of the most important things which we can identify? See, if you observe, sine 30 and cos 30 are equal. Sine 30 is 1 by 2, cos 60 is 1 by 2. So sine 30 and cos 60 are one and the same. Cos 30 is root 3 by 2, sine 60 is root 3 by 2. So these two are one and the same. Tan 60 is 1 by root 3 and cot 60 is 1 by root 3. So these two are one and the same. Similarly, you can find for cosecant 30. So cosecant 30 is 2, isn't it? But here secant 60 is 2. So like this, they are one and the same here. So we can find their equivalent values. So we have also found out the values for 30, 60 and 45. So now let's find out the value for 0 and 90 degrees. So we have a right angle triangle. This is angle A. Okay. So let this be A, B and C. Alright. So what happens if angle A is close to 0? That means this is coming closer and closer, isn't it? So the value of A is reducing. See, the value of A is again reducing. So it's almost 0. So when the value of A, the angle A is almost 0, what happens? AB and AC become one and the same, isn't it? When AB and AC become one and the same, then what are the values of sine, cosine and tan is the question. So now sine 0 is opposite side BC. So now when AB and AC become one and the same, what happens to BC? BC is almost 0, isn't it? So it is 0 by hypotenuse AC, which is 0. So sine 0 is 0 here. What happens to cos 0? Cos 0 is adjacent side is AB divided by hypotenuse AC. They both are one and the same because they both are overlapping on one another. So it's like you have a triangle like this, okay? So the angle is almost 0. So therefore the adjacent side and the hypotenuse overlap. So in that case AB and AC are one and the same, so it is 1. So sine 0 is 0, cos 0 is 1. And what about tan? Tan 0. So tan 0 again is opposite side by adjacent side. The opposite side is 0 by adjacent side AB, so it is 0 here. So once we have defined the values of sine, what about tan? So tan 0 is 0. What about cosecant? So cosecant 0. So we have to find the inverse, isn't it? So cosecant 0 is 1 by 0, which is undefined. Secant 0 is inverse of 1, which is 1 itself. Cot 0 is again something by 0, which is undefined. Okay, so cosecant 0 is undefined, secant 0 is 1, and we find that cot 0 also is undefined. So these are the conditions for 0. Now what happens for 90 degrees? So for 90 degrees I have the same. Now let's assume that this is reducing. AB is reducing. Okay. So this becomes smaller and smaller and I get AB reduces and I get this. Okay. So I have AB which is reducing. So these two are coming closer and closer. Right. So when this comes closer and closer, let's assume that I have a condition like this. So the angle A is increasing. So when these two become very close, A is almost 90 degrees. So when A is almost 90 degrees, what happens? I have A, B and C. So AC and BC coincide with each other. So therefore the opposite side as well as the hypotenuse become 1. So in that case what happens? So now let's see what happens. So sine 90. So what happens in sine 90? It is the opposite side divided by the hypotenuse. What is opposite side? The opposite of A is BC by AC. So it is 1, isn't it? Because they both are one and the same, so sine A is 1. What about cos 90? Adjacent side. The adjacent side AB has almost become 0. So it is 0 by AC. So it is 0. What about tan? Tan 90 is opposite side divided by the adjacent side. Opposite side of course is BC, but the adjacent side AB is 0. So this is undefined. Okay, so now let's move on to cosecant 90 is again reciprocal of 1. Next, secant 90 is undefined, isn't it? So secant 90 is undefined. And then what about cot 90? So cot 90 is nothing but adjacent side by hypotenuse. Adjacent side AB is almost 0. Divided by hypotenuse is AC, so it is 0 here. Okay, so now we have found out all the values. So we have found out the trigonometric ratios of specific angles. So what are the angles? The angles are 60, the angles are 45, The angles are 30, 0 and 90. So we have found out the ratios for 0 degrees, 30 degrees, 45 degrees, 60 and 90. Okay, right? So in the next video lecture, we should solve all the problems given in the second exercise. So what we'll do is, we'll write all the values of these angles in the form of a table. Okay, it has been given in your textbook, so we'll write it in the form of a table. And then using that, we shall solve all the problems given in the second exercise of your textbook. Okay, so make sure you do like, share and subscribe, and press the bell icon to get notifications of further uploads, and make sure that you go through the playlist link given in the description and check out all the other videos for 10th standard mathematics. And thanks for watching.